Hey, what's up everybody? This is Work501 and today I want to show you guys a new Gamma Burst Flak build that is using Flak's Gamma Burst Anointed effect that was just buffed, making this one of the strongest builds in the game. Now take into consideration before watching the rest of the build, this does have a lot of anointed effects on most of your gear, so it is a more high-end build. And with that, let's go straight into the talents. Now this is a pretty specialized build that allows you to have unlimited ammo, and the main item you need for this build is a lump. Now I have a pretty much god rolled lump. It's a ×2. It is radiation. You can have any element, but I like having the radiation to keep this build in that theme of having all radiation damage. And then it has the Gamma Burst Anointed, which was buffed up from 65% to 115% bonus radiation damage. So if you want to do a build, you don't need to have all radiation damage, because this just does a bonus radiation damage on whatever weapon you have this effect on, so it's just a massive damage increase. Now, since this build is focused on Gamma Burst, I want to go low enough in the Master Tree to be able to get 2 augments for it. So we went 3 into Persistent Hunter for gun damage and action skill duration, 1 into Ferocity for pet damage, 1 into Go for the Eyes so your pet crits on its first hit, and then 5 into Who Rescued Who, which lets your pet heal you a bit, and then you can pretty much heal your pet through any amount of damage because you're healing for a percentage of the damage you deal. Then we went for Augment's Atomic Aroma, which makes your pet irradiate radiation damage around them when Gamma Burst is active, and Emphatic Rage, which gives you increased damage when Gamma Burst is active, which is where a majority of our damage is coming from, because we also have that massive damage increase from our anointed effect on our weapon. Now the main tree for this build is the Hunter tree, because this is completely focused around Leave No Trace and Megavore. This is pretty similar to one of my most recent builds that was a fadeaway build. This works pretty similar, just using Gamma Burst to get that massive damage increase from our anointed effects. So first, Leave No Trace. Crits have a chance to give you 1 ammo back to your magazine, which with a rocket launcher that takes like 5-6 ammo, 1 ammo will still do the full damage, the full shot. So it's super strong, makes you pretty much never have to reload your lump, especially when facing even a few enemies. 2 into Interplanetary Stalker gives you and your pet stacking damage increase, and gives you other stacking damage buffs depending on what you're fighting, what enemy type you're fighting. Another super important talent, Head Count. Your crits have a chance to lower your action skill cooldown, and as you'll see, once your Gamma Burst duration is over, you shoot 1 or 2 lumps into a big group of enemies, and your action skill is pretty much back up. You can reuse Gamma Burst. You'll only have like probably 5 seconds in between Gamma Bursts, which is super strong, so you're constantly getting massive damage increases. 2 in a Hunter's Eye, which gives you different bonuses when facing different enemies. Now with our class mod as well, this makes bosses count as all those enemies, so that gives more buffs. And then also with all of our kill skills, we have a chance to just activate them. So Interplanetary Stalker will just randomly activate from shooting enemies. 5 into Two Fang has a chance of firing an additional projectile, which is super strong for lumps. 3 into the Most Dangerous Game, another kill skill that gives you massive buffs. You and your pet massive buffs, and it lasts for 120 seconds, and with our class mod, you'll have this up pretty much all of the time. 3 in a Big Game, Hunter skill, duration, and effect increase. Galactic Shadow, critical damage increase, and enemies are less likely to attack you. Makes you a bit tankier and gives you a little bit more damage. 3 into Grim Harvest, action skill, damage, gun damage, pet damage, all just damage increases for this build. Then Megavore. You have a chance to score critical hit against any part of an enemy. Now how the lumps work is you shoot a big ball, and when it's near any enemies, it makes a line connected to them that does really quick damage over time, and that can crit normally on the lump, but it's not a high chance. And with Megavore, it gives you enough of a chance to crit with those really fast hits on everything, to be proccing Leave No Trace, to be proccing Head Count, to never have to reload, and get really quick action skills, or get your action skill up really quickly after using it. For our pet, we're using the Spider and Scorcher for the elemental damage increase, 10%, pretty good, and then 1% health per second, which is also pretty nice. Then for the rest of our talents, we're going the Stalker tree. 5 in Stealth Repairing System, which gives you health regen per second and max health increase. I did this mainly because without fadeaway, you're not constantly going invisible, so you're a bit more squishy. You have a higher chance to die, so I want that extra health and regen. Furious Attack gives you gun damage, handling, and pet damage for just hitting enemies. And then Turn Tail and Run, which while moving, you gain health regen and damage reduction. While standing still, you gain gun damage and fire rate, which is a pretty good talent overall. So let's go into the weapons and items now. So as we went over, this is a very specialized build, so you pretty much just need a lump. There's a ton of other weapons that are really good with a new Gamma Burst Anointed, but this build is completely focused around specifically using the lump, so that's pretty much what you need. That's pretty much the only weapon you're going to be using. Now for our shield and our grenade mod, mainly the shield, I just went something that's super tanky. I like the rechargers. With a on action skill end, you gain elemental damage for 10 seconds. Now for this, go just the tanky shield you can possibly get. The anointed on the grenade and shields don't play as big as a role as you would think, because your Gamma Burst is up so much, it has a really long duration, that you actually don't get these a lot of the time. So these anointeds aren't as important as just getting a really good tanky shield. The grenade mod, I did radiation damage just to stick with the theme of the build, and a grenade that I don't really use that much. I don't throw grenades in this build that much, even if it was a better grenade. We already went over our class mod. Since you're using a lump, you want the weapon charge speed. That's the best thing. This is a decent rolled one, but it could be better. Mainly you just want the weapon at charge speed. For our artifact, keeping along with the theme of the build, for radiation damage, we went a atom bomb, which gives your radiation R's increased damage and increased radius, which is really good. That's basically their aura. When they have radiation applied on them, they deal more damage to enemies around them. And then this is a victory rush one as well, so when you kill an enemy, you gain movement, speed, and damage, which is up all the time. The rolls on this one aren't very good, so you could definitely do much better with the artifact. So that is pretty much the entire build. A super fun build with the buff on the Gamma Burst Anointed. It's one of the strongest builds in the game. This is a really good buff for this Anointed, and it just makes other variations of flak builds really strong. So subscribe if you want to see more Borderlands 3 content. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about this build. If you guys have any questions about where to get any of these items, how the build works, anything like that, leave it in the comments. And thanks for watching.
That's the spirit. Fall and be reborn with a hunt. bloodletting!
Get chopped, Vault Thief!